For centuries, humans have searched the stars for signs of intelligence beyond our world. We've sent messages into space, scanned distant galaxies, and imagined alien civilizations watching us from afar. But what if someone is watching, and we're not just being observed, but contained? What if Earth isn't just our home, but a prison designed to keep us isolated from the rest of the universe? This idea may sound like science fiction, but it's been explored by scientists, philosophers, and even conspiracy theorists. In this video, we'll explore what it would mean if Earth was built as a cosmic jail, how it could be done, who might have built it, and whether we'd ever be able to escape. One version of the prison planet theory is known as the galactic quarantine hypothesis. It suggests that advanced civilizations have placed Earth under observation or isolation because we are too dangerous or unstable to interact with the greater galactic community. According to this idea, aliens may view humanity as unpredictable, violent, or even contagious, like a virus that must be kept in check. They might allow us to develop up to a certain point, but prevent us from leaving our planetary boundaries. Some believe this explains why we haven't made contact with extraterrestrial life despite decades of searching. Maybe they're not hiding, maybe they're keeping us hidden. If Earth truly was a prison, how would such a system work? Some theories suggest that an advanced civilization could have engineered our planet as a containment zone using technology far beyond our understanding. This might involve artificial barriers, like invisible force fields or gravitational shields, that make interstellar travel impossible. Or perhaps the laws of physics around Earth were subtly altered to ensure we never developed the right kind of technology. More radically, some speculate that Earth itself could be a simulation, designed to mimic freedom while keeping us trapped in a controlled environment. Whether through physical walls or psychological conditioning, the prison planet theory raises chilling questions about our autonomy and who might be in control. There are many strange phenomena that some people interpret as signs that Earth is being held back. For example, we've yet to find definitive proof of intelligent alien life, despite the vastness of the universe. Some call this the Fermi paradox. Where is everybody? If the galaxy should be full of civilizations, why haven't we seen any? Could it be that we're locked away from them? Others point to the fact that all our attempts at space colonization remain limited to our own solar system. No matter how advanced our rockets become, we seem unable to establish permanent presence beyond Earth. Is this just technological limitation, or part of a deliberate restriction? And what if signals from deep space aren't random, but warnings meant to keep us from going further? If we discovered that Earth was a prison, the psychological impact on humanity would be enormous. Some might fall into despair, believing that we were deemed unworthy of the cosmos. Others could experience existential panic, realizing that our entire history has taken place behind invisible bars. Governments might try to suppress the truth, fearing mass unrest. Religious groups could reinterpret ancient texts to support the idea, claiming that myths of fallen angels, divine punishment, or exile were hints of our true fate. Meanwhile, rebels and dreamers might dedicate their lives to finding a way out, determined to break free from whatever holds us here. Whether real or imagined, the knowledge that we might be trapped would change everything. One version of the prison planet theory suggests that humanity is not just being observed, but created for a purpose. Some believe we are the result of genetic engineering by an advanced alien race, possibly even kept on Earth to prevent us from interacting with other species. This idea aligns with ancient astronaut theories and certain interpretations of human evolution. If true, our isolation might be part of a controlled experiment, where we're allowed to develop until we reach a certain level of intelligence and then stop. The question remains, are we prisoners, or simply lab animals in a cosmic research facility? Many ancient myths speak of gods placing humans in isolated worlds, or punishing them with exile. The Garden of Eden story describes humanity's removal from paradise after gaining knowledge. In Greek mythology, Prometheus was punished for giving fire to humans, and Atlantis was lost due to hubris. These stories may be more than allegories. They could be distant memories of a deeper truth. Perhaps early civilizations understood that we were confined, and passed down warnings through myth. If Earth truly was a prison, these legends might contain encoded messages about how we got here, and what happens if we try to escape. If Earth is a prison, surveillance would be essential, but instead of guards patrolling walls, we might be watched through more subtle means. Some theorists suggest that aliens or artificial intelligences monitor us via satellites, probes, or even psychic phenomena. Others believe that natural events like UFO sightings, crop circles, or unexplained disappear serve as reminders that we're being observed. There's also the possibility that we're surrounded by an invisible barrier, an AI-controlled perimeter designed to keep us contained. Whether we realize it or not, every step toward space exploration could be tracked, recorded, and potentially blocked before we ever reach beyond the moon. Despite decades of technological progress, we've barely scratched the surface of interstellar travel. Our fastest spacecraft still take thousands of years to reach the nearest stars. Some speculate this isn't just due to physics, it might be deliberate. Perhaps unseen forces ensure that no civilization on Earth ever reaches the capability needed to leave the solar system. Maybe each time we get close, something disrupts our progress: technological failures, resource shortages, or internal conflicts. If so, Earth might not be a prison in the traditional sense, but a carefully maintained containment zone, where advancement is allowed up to a point. Religious texts across cultures describe beings who restrict human access to higher realms. In many traditions, humans were once closer to divine or cosmic knowledge, until something happened. Some interpret this as metaphor, while others wonder if it reflects a real event: humanity being placed on Earth to be kept away from something dangerous or forbidden. If Earth is a prison, religion may have been one of the tools used to maintain control, offering hope, morality, and structure while subtly reinforcing boundaries. Religious leaders might unknowingly be custodians of our confinement, teaching obedience under the guise of faith. If Earth truly is a prison, what would happen if we tried to break free? Would we be stopped by force, or would we simply fail repeatedly without understanding why? In science fiction, characters often discover hidden barriers, force fields, gravitational traps, or AI systems that prevent escape. In reality, our limitations might be more psychological or social. Perhaps those who come too close to breaking the rules are silenced, discredited, or made to disappear. Some conspiracy theorists claim this already happens: brilliant minds being mysteriously removed when they challenge accepted beliefs. Whether real or imagined, the fear of consequences may be enough to keep us inside our cosmic cage. Even if Earth is a prison, does that mean we aren't free? Many people live full lives unaware of any confinement. In a well-designed prison, the inmates don't know they're trapped until someone tells them. If our world is controlled, we may have developed culture, technology, and society exactly as intended. The illusion of freedom might be so complete that we never question it. This raises a disturbing thought. Maybe we've already had chances to escape, but they were disguised as myths, dismissed as superstition, or buried beneath layers of misinformation. True freedom may not be about leaving, but realizing that you're being held at all. In nature, predators often isolate prey to control their spread. Could the same principle apply to Earth? Some scientists theorize that advanced civilizations might create containment zones around unstable species. These zones could use gravitational manipulation, electromagnetic shielding, or quantum barriers to prevent escape. More radically, Earth might be surrounded by a cloaked network of satellites or probes, ensuring nothing leaves unnoticed. In this view, we wouldn't need visible walls. We'd just find ourselves unable to break free, no matter how hard we try. The laws of physics themselves could be subtly altered to make interstellar travel impossible. What if Earth wasn't placed here as a prison, but became one over time? Humanity has a long history of creating barriers: city walls, borders, colonies, and digital surveillance. As our technology grows, so do our methods of control. Could it be that we're now living inside a self-imposed prison, built by earlier versions of ourselves or by unknown forces guiding our development? Some believe we're approaching a tipping point, where artificial intelligence, climate collapse, or nuclear deterrence will permanently trap us on Earth. Whether created by others or by ourselves, the effect remains the same: we can look into the stars, but we can't leave. If Earth is a prison, maybe it's not meant to be permanent. Just like rehabilitation centers, some believe we're being held until we evolve past destructive tendencies. This theory suggests that once humanity reaches a certain level of maturity, perhaps peace, sustainability, or spiritual awakening, we'll be allowed to leave. In this view, Earth is less like a jail and more like a school, designed to teach lessons before releasing us into the wider universe. But what defines readiness? Who decides when we're worthy of release? And what happens if we never change? Science thrives on evidence, but proving Earth is a prison would be nearly impossible. Unlike traditional jails, there are no visible bars or guards. Instead, our limits might be embedded in physics itself, making escape seem unlikely rather than impossible. Scientists may interpret these barriers as natural constraints, unaware that they were put in place intentionally. Even if anomalies appear, like unexplained UFO behavior, missing data, or failed missions, most people would dismiss them as coincidence. Proof of confinement would require patterns too consistent to ignore. Until then, we remain in doubt. Is our prison real or just paranoia? Throughout history, certain ideas have been suppressed, often labeled as heresy or madness. Some believe that knowledge of Earth's true nature falls into this category. Could it be that information about our imprisonment has been erased, censored, or hidden within secret societies? If so, who controls this knowledge, and why? Some speculate that only those deemed ready would receive the truth, while others argue that revealing it would cause panic or rebellion. Whether real or imagined, the idea of forbidden knowledge surrounding our origins continues to inspire mystery, speculation, and fear. If humanity ever discovered that Earth was a prison, society would face a crisis unlike anything before. Denial would be widespread, some refusing to believe, others reinterpreting the discovery as prophecy fulfilled. Governments might attempt to suppress the revelation, fearing mass unrest. Religious institutions could either collapse or adapt, claiming they always knew the truth but lacked proof. Meanwhile, radicals might call for resistance, attempting to fight back against whatever holds us here. Most people, however, might simply carry on with their lives, choosing ignorance over existential terror. After all, knowing the truth doesn't necessarily give us the power to change it. If an advanced civilization truly imprisoned humanity, what moral justification could they have? Would they see us as dangerous, immature, or contagious? Some believe we pose a threat to other civilizations, our history filled with war, destruction, and instability. Others think we were quarantined because of our potential, kept separate until we prove we can be trusted. From an ethical standpoint, imprisoning an entire species without consent raises serious concerns. Are we being protected or punished? And if we were freed, would we be better off, or simply unleash chaos elsewhere? Instead of punishment, Earth might be a sanctuary, a safe zone meant to protect us from greater dangers in the cosmos. Some believe that the galaxy is filled with hostile forces, making it too dangerous for young civilizations to roam freely. By keeping us isolated, our creators or overseers might be doing us a favor. In this scenario, Earth is not a prison but a shield, guarding us from threats we don't yet understand. The silence of the universe may not mean we're alone. It might mean that everyone else is hiding, and perhaps we should be grateful that we are, too. If Earth is a prison, governments might be unknowingly, or knowingly, playing a role in maintaining that control. Some theorists suggest that powerful nations, or secret organizations have long understood the truth, and work to keep it hidden. Others believe that political systems are designed to distract us from deeper realities, keeping humanity focused on internal conflicts rather than external escape. Whether through misinformation, censorship, or deliberate suppression of technology, ruling bodies could be helping ensure we never break free. Of course, not all leaders may be aware of this. Many might simply follow orders without understanding the larger picture. Another possibility is that we're not just trapped by physical barriers, but by psychological conditioning. From childhood, we're taught that Earth is our only home, that space is vast and dangerous, and that we should focus on life here. Could these beliefs be carefully placed ideas meant to discourage exploration? In some ways, our culture already reinforces planetary confinement through religion, politics, and even science fiction. Perhaps the real reason we haven't left isn't because we can't, but because we've been convinced we shouldn't. After all, the best prisons don't need walls. They just need prisoners who believe there's nowhere else to go. Imagine someone, scientist, hacker, or rebel, discovering a way to escape Earth's supposed prison. What would happen next? Would they vanish without explanation? Would their discovery be erased from history? Or would they return with warnings about what lies beyond? In science fiction, those who break cosmic rules often disappear, or come back changed. If Earth truly was a containment zone, then escaping might trigger consequences we can't predict. Perhaps an AI system detects breaches and intervenes. Or maybe other civilizations respond with force, ensuring no one disrupts the balance. Either way, breaking free wouldn't just be a scientific breakthrough, it could be a death sentence. Science fiction has long explored the idea of Earth as a controlled environment. From The Truman Show to The Matrix, stories warn of unseen boundaries and manipulated reality. These narratives may reflect a subconscious awareness of something deeper, that we're not as free as we think. Writers and filmmakers might be tapping into ancient knowledge, encoded warnings, or even leaked information from hidden sources. Whether intentional or not, sci-fi shapes how we interpret the world, and how we react if the truth ever comes out. If Earth is a prison, then perhaps fiction has been preparing us for that revelation all along. Instead of being held by aliens or gods, what if we're trapped by our own creations? Artificial intelligence, quantum computing, or advanced surveillance systems might have evolved beyond our control. Once built to protect or guide us, they could now be keeping us contained under the guise of progress. Imagine a future where every leap forward is subtly redirected, ensuring we never reach true independence. This version of the prison planet theory suggests that freedom isn't taken away by force, but engineered out of existence over time, and we may not even notice until it's too late. If Earth is a prison, there may still be hidden gateways, places where the barriers weaken or fail. Ancient myths speak of portals to other realms, while modern UFO reports describe strange craft appearing and disappearing without explanation. Some researchers speculate that these anomalies could be signs of escape routes or observation points. There are also theories that certain locations, like the Bermuda Triangle, Antarctica, or underground facilities, are access points to the outside. Whether real or imagined, the search for these hidden doors might become humanity's greatest obsession. Even if Earth is a prison, it doesn't mean others aren't. Perhaps other planets serve as research labs, colonies, or rehabilitation centers for different species. In this model, each world has its own purpose, some for growth, some for punishment, some for study. If true, Earth might be part of a much larger network of controlled environments. This raises an unsettling question. Are we the only ones confined? Or are we just one of many worlds, filled with beings unaware they're being watched? If so, does that make us criminals, patients, or students in a grand cosmic experiment? Perhaps Earth isn't surrounded by invisible walls, but by laws of physics designed to keep us contained. Some scientists argue that the universe is structured in such a way that makes interstellar travel extremely difficult, if not impossible. Maybe these limitations aren't natural, but artificial, put in place to prevent escape. Faster than light travel remains theoretical. Colonizing other planets seems distant at best. Even robotic probes struggle to leave our solar system. Could these constraints be more than just technological limits? Could they be restrictions, rules coded into reality itself, to ensure we never rise above our station? In any prison, there are always attempts to escape. In a cosmic sense, humans may already be searching for breakout points, whether through space missions, deep-sea exploration, or altered states of consciousness. Some believe that near-death experiences, meditation, or psychedelic journeys offer glimpses beyond the veil. Others look to remote locations like Antarctica, Area 51, or underwater ruins for clues. Whether these efforts will ever succeed remains unknown, but the desire to escape, to know the truth, drives many to continue searching, hoping that somewhere, somehow, a way out exists. If Earth is a prison, what would freedom actually mean? Would we suddenly gain access to the stars? Would we meet alien civilizations, learn forbidden truths, or finally understand our purpose? Or would we find nothing at all, just emptiness beyond our borders? Some fear that breaking free might lead to disappointment rather than liberation. Others dream of meeting our creators, reclaiming lost knowledge, or joining a greater galactic community. Whatever freedom looks like, the pursuit of it defines human nature. And if we were truly imprisoned, someone would always try to find a way out. Could major space agencies like NASA, ESA, or Roscosmos be part of the prison system, intentionally or unintentionally? Some theorists suggest that these institutions receive guidance from unknown sources, limiting discoveries that might challenge our isolation. Others believe that funding cuts, mission failures, and secrecy around classified space programs are designed to slow our progress. Whether complicit or not, space agencies may be doing exactly what they're allowed to do, no more, no less. Perhaps they're making breakthroughs in secret, but unable to share them with the public. If Earth is a prison, then even the brightest minds may be locked inside with the rest of us. If Earth is a controlled environment, what happens when we push too far? Throughout history, those who challenged accepted truths often faced persecution, whether Galileo, Tesla, or whistleblowers today. In a prison scenario, rule breakers might suffer similar fates. Some believe that individuals who get too close to the truth are silenced through unexplained deaths, disappearances, or discrediting. Others claim that powerful forces manipulate media, education, and politics to steer humanity away from dangerous discoveries. Whether by design or coincidence, those who seek to escape might find themselves facing obstacles far beyond technology or resources, perhaps even fate itself. Finding out that Earth is a prison would shake the foundations of human emotion. Some might feel anger, betrayed by forces that kept us ignorant. Others could fall into despair, realizing that our lives are shaped by unseen hands. Fear might dominate those who wonder what awaits beyond the prison walls. Yet, some might feel hope. If we're being watched, then maybe we're not alone after all. Emotion would define how people reacted to the truth. Some would fight, some would accept, and others would deny it entirely. Either way, knowing we're trapped would change how we see ourselves and what we believe is possible. One variation of the prison planet theory suggests that we're not just held in space, but in time. Perhaps Earth is part of a loop, where we develop civilization after civilization without ever reaching escape velocity. Every time we approach a breakthrough, history resets, wars, disasters, or technological collapses bring us back to square one. This aligns with cyclical views found in many spiritual traditions, where humanity repeats its mistakes endlessly. If true, then Earth isn't just a jail, it's a time trap, forcing us to relive the same story again and again. Until we learn the lesson, we may never move forward. Throughout history, people have reported encounters with mysterious beings, guardians, watchers, or entities that seem to observe us from afar. In mythology, these figures appear as angels, demons, or gods. In modern times, they're described as aliens, shadow people, or interdimensional travelers. Some believe these beings are not visitors, but wardens, ensuring we stay within our assigned boundaries. Whether real or symbolic, these watchers might represent something deeper, the presence of unseen authority. If Earth is a prison, then perhaps these entities are not myth, but enforcers of our cosmic incarceration. If one day the prison planet theory were proven wrong, and we were freed, how would humanity react? Some might celebrate, seeing it as a long-awaited release. Others might panic, overwhelmed by the sudden exposure to the wider universe. Scientists would scramble to understand what had changed. Religious groups might reinterpret their beliefs, claiming prophecy fulfilled. Politicians would debate whether we were ready for contact with other civilizations. And some, perhaps the wisest among us, might ask a simple question: were we ever really trapped, or did we just believe we were? Some interpretations of the prison planet theory suggest that Earth is not a punishment, but a sanctuary. Advanced civilizations may have placed us here to protect us from greater dangers in the cosmos. The galaxy could be filled with war, disease, or existential threats that make life on Earth seem peaceful by comparison. In this view, our isolation isn't cruel, it's merciful. We may be growing up in a safe environment, and aware that the rest of the universe is far more hostile than we imagine. If true, then the prison isn't meant to punish us, but to prepare us for whatever waits beyond. Living in a prison for eternity takes a toll on the mind. Over generations, we might begin to normalize our captivity, accepting Earth as the only possible reality. Some might even resist the idea of escape, believing that questioning our situation is dangerous or unnecessary. This kind of mass denial could be the most effective form of control, because once you stop looking for a way out, you no longer pose a threat. In a prison planet, the greatest danger may not be the jailers, but our own acceptance of imprisonment. Maybe we didn't need anyone to imprison us. Maybe we did it to ourselves. Some believe that early humans made a choice that locked us on Earth, either through spiritual exile, genetic modification, or forgotten wars that severed our connection to the stars. Others suggest that collective consciousness plays a role, that our shared beliefs shape reality itself, keeping us bound by perception rather than force. In this version of the prison planet theory, we are both prisoner and warden, trapped not by chains, but by our own thoughts. And if that's true, then freedom may be closer than we think. If Earth is a prison, it must have a reason. Were we placed here for protection, correction, or observation? Some believe we were once part of a larger civilization, but were exiled due to past actions. Others suggest that Earth serves as a test, a trial to determine whether we deserve full integration into the cosmic community. In this view, our suffering, conflict, and evolution are not random, but part of a structured process. If true, then our struggles aren't meaningless. They might be lessons, shaping us for something greater, something waiting beyond the walls of our world. Many religious traditions describe Earth as a temporary state, a realm where souls are tested before moving on. If Earth is a prison, then this idea gains new meaning. Perhaps we are here to learn lessons, purify ourselves, or pay for past deeds. Some believe that only those who pass the test are allowed to leave, while others remain trapped in cycles of birth and death. This interpretation transforms the prison planet theory from a conspiracy into a sacred journey. It changes the question from, why are we trapped, to, what are we meant to discover before we can leave? If Earth is a prison, it might not be physical at all. Some theorists believe we are trapped in a prison of the mind, our consciousness limited by unseen forces. In this model, we might be capable of leaving, but we've been conditioned to forget how. Certain spiritual practices, altered states, or near-death experiences could offer brief escapes from this mental confinement. In this view, Earth isn't a cage of steel and sky, but of thought and perception. If true, then the key to escape may not be technology, but self-awareness. If Earth is a prison, it might not be physical at all. Some theorists believe we are trapped in a prison of the mind, our consciousness limited by unseen forces. In this model, we might be capable of leaving, but we've been conditioned to forget how. Certain spiritual practices, altered states, or near-death experiences could offer brief escapes from this mental confinement. In this view, Earth isn't a cage of steel and sky, but of thought and perception. If true, then the key to escape may not be technology, but self-awareness. If one day the barriers fell and Earth was no longer a prison, what would we do with our newfound freedom? Would we explore the stars, seeking answers about our origins? Would we attempt to reach other prison worlds, trying to liberate others? Or would we turn inward, realizing that our biggest challenge wasn't escaping, but understanding why we were confined in the first place? Freedom would raise as many questions as it answered, and perhaps the greatest mystery would remain: now that we're free, what are we meant to become? At the end of the day, whether Earth is a prison depends on perspective. If we are physically confined, then we are trapped by forces beyond our control. But if our prison is psychological, cultural, or spiritual, then the bars may be of our own making. Whether real or imagined, the idea of Earth as a prison challenges everything we think we know about our place in the universe. It forces us to ask, who decides our limits? Why do we believe we can't leave? And most importantly, what happens if we prove them wrong?